Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Thursday, the 9th of June, comes to you from London. A lot of red on the screen this morning. So we start by looking at the dollar index. That's starting to resurge again, looking strong there. So bullish on all three time frames, which means that the euro, of course, is now looking weaker. If we look at the Japanese yen, the interesting thing here is that the dollar is making new highs. So this is a good lead indicator for the dollar, and that tells us that we will almost certainly make new highs on the dollar index, and that will probably mean new lows for the euro against the dollar. Sterling sitting steady at 125, just in a bit of a sideways trend against the dollar. And if we look at against the euro, we are sitting below that 117 level. So looking weaker against the euro on the medium and short-term chart, but the long-term chart just still holding that bullish trend. Bitcoin just back above the $30,000 mark, but really teetering with this level now. And that's going to be the key to watch. The S&P 500 index was down 1% yesterday. So we are just seeing US markets just struggling, still below the cloud. And really, we've been below the cloud on the US market all this year. So really isn't a strong looking market, and quite interesting to see that there. The futures are down this morning just very slightly. So flat market opening at the moment. The VIX volatility sitting steady around 24, mid-20s, just tells us the fear index is just stable at the moment. But with this deteriorating prices, we wouldn't be surprised to see the VIX rising again. The FTSE future is up this morning, down this morning, just hitting that resistance level there. So that's quite interesting versus the US. The oil majors driving UK prices basically. The DAX is down 1% this morning, so that's quite key. And looking at Japan, we are flat there, no real change. Hong Kong, China were lower. India just flat, and the Aussie market down 1.4%. So quite interesting there that we're just seeing falls away, interest rate rises in the Aussie market this week. We'll look at the energy mix in a minute, but we're seeing pretty much selling across the board. We've got most of the soft commodities lower. Gold sitting at 1848, just really struggling at this 1850 mark. Silver lower as well. And palladium just looking a little bit higher. Platinum not looking good, just lower there. Copper down 1.6%, and US 10-year yield still above 3%, but just down slightly. Looking at the energy mix now this morning, we've got Brent crude still looking pretty strong. The really big story was the Freeport LNG terminal in the US last night. There was an explosion. That's reduced demand for US nat gas. Freeport accounts for around 20% of US gas exports, and we're seeing here that we're pushing lower as well. So we do have further downside targets here, and that's just going to be really interesting to see how that plays out. Of course, the long-term trend for US nat gas is looking pretty strong, and we did put out a report this week, but this will unwind some of the shorter-term targets, and it'll be interesting to see that Freeport terminal likely to be out for several weeks. It's looking at coal, no real changes there. Emissions back above the 80 euro level, but still short-term bearish on the cloud. But the big move, of course, has been in gas prices this morning. We've got TTF up 10%, and NBP, the UK much more dependent on LNG imports, up a massive 30%. So that massive jump there on that Freeport terminal just shows us how vulnerable we are to shocks like that. So that will be quite key to watch. And in fact, LNG prices, the LNG Japan Korea market, are likely to move higher as well. So that will be quite key. Looking at German power, we're seeing here that we are flat, having bounced on this 235 support level and looking like we will run higher. So that's going to be really quite key. Keep an eye on these European gas and power markets. Be quite interesting to see how we react today on those prices. and this will have ramifications across Italy. German gas and Italian gas will see big moves there, so it's going to be quite a key market. I'm watching a lot of different markets at the moment on my alerts, so just keeping an eye out on the markets, but just keep an eye on those targets. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. Bye for now.